Hey everyone, it's Brian here. Welcome to Back to Planet Annie. I'm just doing a little video here discussing the current generation of game consoles, and it's just been I just have to say it's been a weird generation so far. Oh, just got a text. Anyways, I'm completely doing this on the fly. I have no script. I'm just wanting to discuss a few things going on in the world of gaming at the latest moment. So, the first thing we got just reported, I think, last day or so, is that Nintendo is finally, looks like they're discontinuing production of the Wii U game console by the end of the year. So with that said, it looks like they're possibly going to be moving on to their new codename NX system. Doesn't have an official name yet, so that's interesting for that there. Are they finally prepared to move on for this? Is it just because of the poor sales? You know, what's going on with that? We also have the rumor of Sony working on a possible PlayStation 4.5. That's very interesting too. It sounds like it'd be a system with upgraded GPU and CPU. I'm wondering if that's just a rumor because of the PlayStation VR. I wonder if they're maybe making an upgrade system that can handle the PlayStation VR better. It's entirely possible. And finally, we have the Xbox One. At least a couple weeks ago, Microsoft's Phil Spencer was saying something about making the Xbox upgradable down the line. And it's just, all these articles tie into the fact that it's just been a weird generation so far, I feel like. And it's just, I don't know. It's just feels like the game industry is just in a weird transitional phase, or something's going on. I'll definitely say, going back to the Wii U here, that just because they're discontinuing it now and they're going to stop production after 2016 doesn't mean they're completely banning the system yet. They're still going to have systems probably in backstock for people to purchase. So if you haven't bought a Wii U yet, you still probably have a chance. Who knows? Maybe you'll get discounted more because they're trying to cut out their inventory there. So that's very interesting. I hope Nintendo knows what they're doing with this, because I know the Wii U is a colossal flop for various reasons, and it kind of sucks because I actually have a Wii U myself, and it's a really great system with a really great set of games, definitely first-party games. But there's no denying that they had bad marketing and whatnot for it, and that's why it's only at like 13 million systems sold. So it's a very confusing system. So the PlayStation, again, back to the PlayStation 4, and I'm just jumping around between articles here that I'm finding because I'm getting going on the fly. The PS4.5 issue, back when the Xbox One and PS4 was revealed, it seemed like the systems were definitely ahead of the 360 and PS3, but not by much. It seemed like they were already being outdated compared to higher-end or mid-range gaming PCs. And that was just a few years ago in 2013 when they were unveiled. Imagine now how they are now in early 2016, how outdated they are. And I've heard several times about games struggling to run at a certain setting on both systems. More so the Xbox, because the Xbox has less strong specs. And also, just note, I'm not entirely sure on the PS4 aspect, because I actually don't own a PS4, so I'm not going to really comment on performance in that system, because I don't think that's not really fair to do since I don't have it. But yeah, the Xbox, I've noticed on a few games, mainly like Fallout 4, where it has trouble sometimes. It gets a little sturry. Not too horrible, it's still playable, but I can see where maybe the system's already being outdated. So what this all goes back to is it's just been a weird generation so far. It's like all these systems have major problems with it. I'm not trying to be negative about the generation, this 8th generation of consoles, because they're still pretty good. Obviously, they're all doing really well in some regards, but just what's up with this generation, you know? With these rumors about the PS4 getting a possible PS4.5 upgradable system, or the Xbox One, which I know Phil Spencer now has denied within like the past week or so. But the Xbox upgradable, it's like, are we transitioning? Is this generation of consoles transitioning to something different? It's something I've definitely been wondering. Are these systems or are we going to have game systems more like iPhones and Samsung Galaxy phones, where you upgrade every few years instead of this long time? Which, by the way, mentioning that, I feel like one contribution for why this generation has been such a weird generation is look at the 360 and the PS3 and the Wii generation, that 7th gen. They were active on the market for an unusually long amount of time, it seemed like. If I remember correctly, the 360 was released in 2005, and the Wii and the PS3 were released in 2006. And of course, their successors came in 2012 and 2013, respectively, so there's about 6 years for the Wii to Wii U. The 360 was around for, let's see, 2005, 2013, about 8 years, and then I think about 7 years for the PS3. So, I mean, if you look at the grand history, if you look up like previous systems before, like the PS2 or the N64, etc. Let me have the PS2, that's not a good example, but anyways, previous generation systems, they only last about 4 to 5 years, maybe even 6 at the most. So, last generation, I think definitely, I feel like last generation is kind of thrown off this newer generation, if that makes sense. Again, this is just a strictly one guy's theory here, so don't quote me as like this is direct reason why everything's so weird. And hopefully all this makes sense. Again, I'm going completely on the fly here. But I just kind of wonder, been thinking about this for a while, if there's been some kind of ripple effect from the last generation that has kind of carried over into this generation, and why we're having such a weird cycle of, again, games, the systems. Honestly, how to put it, seems like this generation feels almost a bit rushed, if that makes sense. Especially the PS4 and the Xbox One. It's like Sony and Microsoft had their 360 and PS3 out for so long, and then, you start hearing about gamers getting a little complacent with that hardware. Developers getting a little bit complacent. They were wanting something new to work with. So it's like maybe Sony and Microsoft weren't entirely prepared just yet. Maybe they still had to wait a few more years. I don't know, it's really hard to explain, or at least my thought process here with this. I don't know. I guess the whole reason I'm doing this video is that I'm not disappointed in this generation. I just keep going back to the fact that it's been a weird generation, and I'm just kind of wondering, are we going to have an unusually short cycle, or are we going to see a massive transition of gaming cycles where instead of multiple 5, 6, 7 years of a generation cycle, we get new hardware? Are we going to start seeing transitional hardware, I like the iPhone or the Samsung Galaxy-esque line of thinking, which, I'm not sure many hardcore gamers, quote-unquote hardcore gamers, will like that too much, though, about shelling out X amount of $100 for a new console every year. I don't know if that's going to be a really good move. I mean, it's definitely interesting to see. Of course, another aspect I have to mention is that, there's other influences that might be the reason why you're hearing all these rumors of upgradable systems being more like, PCs, honestly, is the VR aspect and mobile gaming. There's definitely a lot of big influences. I want to try and contribute to that there. I'm sure I'm going to mention about Nintendo here in the NX. They seem like they're still doing their own separate thing, and I'm very curious to see, because all we've heard is nothing but stupid rumors. I can't wait for Microsoft, what am I saying? Nintendo to finally unveil something about the NX that's actually legit, because we've had all these bad rumors, like I said, about the NX. It'll be interesting to see what they actually do. Are they going to make a handheld system, a home console version, a hybrid? Or are they going to try and incorporate other aspects, like more mobile gaming stuff? Or heck, maybe Nintendo is secretly working on some kind of VR aspect. That'd be interesting to see if Nintendo got into that ring too. I mean, we have the Oculus Rift, the HTC Vive, and the Sony VR. Which, again, just another random thought there. It's interesting that only Sony of the three companies seems to be actively doing anything with VR. Microsoft doesn't seem to do anything. I know there's that HoloLens, but not much about that. Nintendo seems like they're completely not doing anything with it. So, I don't know, maybe they're going to surprise us and do that. But, anyways, this is kind of a random ramble video here. Just kind of my thoughts as a spew out here. Spew out, that's not a really good way to say it. But this is kind of go on the fly, trying to get Also, this video is also good about helping me just better at communicating with the microphone here. Something I need to definitely improve on. So, hope you guys overall enjoyed this random video about the next, maybe next, or this generation, whatever this weird generation has been. So, definitely thanks for watching. See you guys. Bye.